Hello everyone, this is Raymond Wolfgang here, and in this tip you're going to learn a little bit more about final acceptance and what goes into it. So if you're involved with negotiating with the customer, or if you are into delivery for the customer, the final step when you're turning over the product and the artifacts, this will help. Now, we have our context here, this RAP, that's the customer request. Then A is this activity bubble, you may have seen in other videos. It's just all the technical and non-technical activity needed to create a product, which is P. The validation step has taken place. We know that the product satisfies the original need. And this is the point where we have customer acceptance, or if it's an internal product, whoever our customer is will say, yes, this is acceptable, and handshakes, and the engineering project's complete. Now, feeding into this, two different aspects. One is the actual parts of the product or the software code that was promised. Okay, that has to go in part of the deal. Now, the other part, and this depends on what's negotiated, is just a series of documentation. It could be user manual, operating manual, troubleshooting book. Could be a build book. A build book is something that records the documentation during manufacture. Maybe there are pictures of welds and snapshots of wiring diagrams or wiring harnesses. That could be part of the deliverable as well. But this is negotiated up front, again, with that project management triangle of cost, scope, and schedule. Because it takes money and effort to produce documents, and particularly design documents ready to be handed to a customer. So, now the final part here is that sometimes the design is not part of the package. That's negotiated. In a government situation, you may convey some of the design, but commercially, you want to keep that a trade secret. So very often, it might just be some user manual. But this needs to be negotiated. But whatever is agreed to, that gets put into the final, what sometimes they call an acceptance package, along with the parts. Maybe some prototypes have been negotiated, and then there's acceptance. Now, if you're in a production run, you'll turn over the documents and the design, maybe the first lot or two of the production, but then production will continue, sometimes for years. And then there's different negotiation there, there's different commitments. But usually a customer will accept a design and a production setup to where at this point they're just waiting for full rate production, and then they'll receive those normally. Now, just because we're in production doesn't mean we're done. There's tracking, there's monitoring. We need to take metrics, make sure our production line doesn't drift. But basically, the customer is okay with the design, the product, and then it's just a matter of giving subsequent lots of our deliverable. So this is just a general overview of final acceptance. It depends on your organization. Part of the point here is to inspire you to ask the right questions of your management, your customer, what's expected. Someone should have worked through this as part of the negotiation of the job. But if you know this, then when people say, "Oh, we need to accept the product," then you'll know what they're talking about. Message me below if this resonates, if this is helpful. If you have objections or other opinions, we'd love to hear them. I'll see you in the next tip.